9/1018, Ritu Sara Thomas, Swati Subramanian, Savita Rajan.
Good morning all. We are IIA, a team of 3 conservation architects. I'm Ritu Sara Thomas, my teammates Savita and Swati. So the project we are presenting here is a restoration of Karnikara Mandapam, which is a very unique structure of the Kundamangalam Bhagavati temple, which is located in the quaint village of Karvannur in Kozhikode. So the temple, the hills, the stream, the inhabitants, the sacred landscape are all believed to be fiercely protected by its resident goddess, the Bhadrakali. And the temple itself has a rectilinear layout, which includes the Chuttambalam, which is a surrounding structure, the Sri Kovil or the sanctum, and the Karnikara Mandapam in the center. And this mandapam actually represents, it's called Karnikaram because it represents an inverted lotus, which is a 16-petal lotus with a center known as the Karnikara Bindu or the center. Yes. Yeah, unlike other temples, this sanctum actually faces the west and the worshippers face the east. And so in January 2023, an NGO called ARPO, they initiated this project and presented us with the challenge to undertake this restoration in a limited short time span of 3 months between January to March 2023, that is before the annual festival of the temple. And another major challenge was to make this cost effective because only 1/3 was privately sponsored and 2/3 of the cost was crowd-funded, and that too by the local community. So this Namaskara Mandapam, which is known as a Karnikara Mandapam, shows very intricate craftsmanship of teak wood pillars, laterite stone plinth and mud flooring. We found the Mandapam had got its name from the 16 pillars, that is Karnikaram, which is the number 16. So the first step was to research into its history, do a complete and meticulous documentation to know its condition. The roof structure, the pillars were made of teak wood. In the flooring we have a granite border, and there is mud in the center for ritualistic purposes. And this is our documentation drawings. So we had to do a very meticulous documentation. And years of neglect and deterioration had taken a toll on its condition. You can see visible signs of water seepage, termite infestation, which has decayed the pillars, beams, the rafters, and the ceiling. About 80% of the timber was deteriorated. This would not have survived another monsoon, and it would have collapsed. So the original finial was also lost. The timber elements you can see here are infested and has crack and fungal rot. And temporary support measures like scaffolding, steel tie rods were in place to stabilize the whole structure.
The restoration of the Mandapam embraced meticulous approach rooted in ancient Indian treatises of Vastu Shastra and Tachu Shastra with the help of traditional carpenters or acharis. The conservation philosophy that we have applied here is Jirnodharana and Punaruddharana. Jirnodharana means deliverance from decay and Punaruddharana means regeneration or restoration. Our conservation philosophy combines both preserving existing stone and laterite fabric to prevent further decay while restoring or replacing deteriorated timber with original materials. We can see the isometric view here, which shows a substructure in laterite and superstructure in wood. Then we can see the dismantling work, where images showing workers remove the deteriorated timber roof structure, termite-infested structural pillars, and cement plaster from the mandapam. We can see the images how the carpenters have skillfully crafted the timber roof centerpiece kudam, which plays a crucial role in holding the rafters together. Then we have the image showing making of timber pillar shaft and capital using coal measurements. Then we have stone work pointing and dressing, pointing of laterite stone and dressing of granite stone on site. Then we have documented the Uttaram Kotal ceremony, which is a puja ceremony to commemorate the installation of the roof of the mandapam. Then we have the Ayurvedic medicinal oil for timber preservation. The oil that is applied on timber is made by a Vaidyan or a traditional Ayurvedic practitioner with 32 special medicinal herbs. We approached him, and this is believed to prolong its life for over 1,000 years. The oil gives a positive energy to the visitors and pleasant aroma, while workers happily applied it without using any masks, preferring its delightful aroma unlike pungent smell while applying chemical polishes. 1 liter of medicinal oil contains 5 oils as base: castor oil, neem oil, sesame oil, mustard oil, and vetiver oil or kasgras. It also consists of 250 ml of decoction kashayam, ground soaked herbs, and powdered herbs. All these ingredients are combined to form the oil applied to soak the wood thoroughly. This oil has no expiry date and can be easily stored. And this is done by the Vaidyan doing a vradam or fasting for months. Thank you.
So as you can see, the base or the ubabedam of the mandapa is plastered with lime, which is a traditional method of plastering. And we managed to source local skilled lime craftsmen from Kozhikode itself. They have used quicklime, sand, and soaked bark of neltari, and also additives like navandavalli. So the lime plastering, for the lime plaster is also mixed with red oxide for the ubabedam to match it with the laterite background or the heritage character of the mandapam. The structural timber, members of the superstructure were crafted using venga wood and alternate to the teak recommended in accordance with Tachu Shastra and also making it cost effective. So the deteriorated kudam, a structure which holds the rafters together, was replaced as per the original design. The proposed, so here we can see the proposed illumination, which is actually a reversible illumination to enhance the exquisite carpentry work and which also maintains the spiritual aura of the mandapam. So the natural oil is used for the stone polish, which is a mixture of sesame, beeswax, and camphor, which is carried out by another traditional skilled craftsman. After consolidation of the mud flooring, termite proofing was applied and sprayed using an herbal anti-termite solution, which is made of plant extract, which is actually eco-friendly and reduces toxicity. As you can see on the left, each and every people were involved. The community were involved in the conservation process and the cleaning process without age groups. Finally, the Jirnodhara, the process concluded with the placement of Taliga Kudam filled with paddy, grains, copper, and coins. So this ends the conservation process. So every decision is made in consultation with every stakeholders of the community, including all the craftsmen, temple committee, and all everybody, the funder, the facilitator, and everyone. So it's like a community-led conservation project. So this conservation effort has led to many positive impacts on the community. So they went on like there were some illegal activities happening on the ground, and then they were inspired by the conservation efforts and went on strike against those. So the traditional next slide. So these are some of the images. You can see the before and after photographs of the conservation, the setting, some of the interior. The mandapam is decked for the festival. Some of the interior pictures again. So another very unique, very interesting function which happens on the mandapa is the column eduthu, which is this column, making of this column using natural powders. So this is made and column makil and barter happens after this. So they have this mud flooring and we were in consultation with the performer, restored the mud flooring. These are some of the images during the festival. So our primary goal was successful to make the community proud of their heritage and also value their heritage. So the engagement of youth, NGOs, and crowdfunding demonstrated a commitment to social values, promoting community involvement and ownership in preserving their heritage. So we were also happy to be part of this project. So it's like a collaborative effort which made the community value their heritage. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. So your presentation also exemplified what you said, that this is a testament to the power of collective efforts. In fact, when we had the conversation with the temple committee there, I was surprised the kind of details they knew
Exactly,
that
they know, yeah.
the architects would know. And I think you roped in artisans, craftspeople, an Ayurvedic practitioner also. I just want to understand that in such projects, do you think the architect's role is limited in terms of design and it is more focused on curation and becoming a catalyst?
Actually, as a conservation architect, your role is very crucial in educating or creating awareness for the community, with the community. So, the community is generally unaware of what kind of techniques to be used to preserve heritage. So, first of all, you have to create awareness to make them aware of there are certain techniques, there are local skills which are available in the region which we should make use of. So in that way it is like it's a very architects have very important role, especially conservation architect, in making the community aware of what they can be done.
And understanding these traditional knowledge systems also help us apply these to modern structures as well. So understanding these traditional techniques and documentation also becomes very important.
Yeah, I think that's, I agree with that, because you have to kind of bridge that space
Yes.
in a very non-partisan manner and keep yourself under a lot of restraint to be able to achieve something like this.
So this was actually a practice for us to understand how to create a dialogue between the old and new. Now,
Yes.
how can we transfer these knowledge systems to our modern creations?
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I wanted to comment on was the traditionally these mandapams, were they lit spaces after hours?
Yes, it was, but there were fire hazard issues earlier. So we tried to convince, because we like the glow of the diyas and everything. But there are certain things that happen inside the mandapam, as you see, like performance happens. So there was oil dripping issues where a performer slip and fell. And so when they perform, they don't know what they're doing. So they're in a trance state. So this was one thing. And another thing was we could not use diyas because of the fire hazards. As you can see, you must have been to the, earlier pictures. The whole timber was, the fire had come and all the teak timbers were destroyed. So we came up with we had a meeting with the temple committee, and then we decided that no, okay, let's come up with a collective solution. And then we decided to have these strip lights, as you can see, which hits the ceiling and not, you cannot see any light, source above the ceiling. And even the pillars also, we wanted it inside the columns, but along with, we have to see what the users want also, right? So they want the person to do that circumambulation and then have these spotlights around. So that's why we had proposed.
Also this lighting is reversible lighting,
Yeah.
which we can remove at any point of time.
Yeah, there's a wooden beading, as you must have seen
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
which can be easily removed. We have not screwed anything on the wooden pillars, so that's the approach.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting, well done project. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.